Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're with the host Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by Steve Gallegos and Kundan Kumar. Welcome to the show, guests.
Well, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How did I go?
That's right.
How did I go with the
Evening
names?
for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm in the land down under, backwards. What about you, Kundan?
It's evening for me.
Are you in the subcontinent?
In Indian continent, so yeah.
Yeah, so you got the exact same time as Perth, Australia. So it's about 10:05 p.m. Is that correct?
No, it's 7:35, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Shows you what I know. Not much. Okay, let's load up the board. The categories today are astronomy and space, cooking equipment, the body human, textiles, inventions, German words and phrases. Kundan, you can kick things off on the left. What would you like?
The body human. How do I pick the...
100? Let's do it.
Okay.
Vibraceae are the short, stiff hairs that line this organ of smell.
Wow. And I can't see the options below.
There are no options. The options are inside of your head. Vibraceae are the short, stiff hairs that line this organ of smell. Do you want to... All right, jump in, Steve.
Nose.
What is the nose?
Whoa, hang on. Kundan's come out of left field here. Let's have a look. He's got it.
Nose.
Well done.
Yeah. Okay.
You're in control and you're on the board for 100 points. Kundan, well done. You thought you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for a minute with options. What would you like next?
Oh, it's me again?
It is.
Wow. Cooking equipment.
For 100, you got to pick how much you want to try and win.
Yeah, let's go for $300.
300. Used to keep food warm, this dish is a container with a pan of hot water beneath it. I think it's a French thing. There are Asian things like this, like steamers, but it's not that. Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. We have the steam cookers, but I don't know what to call it. We have this tray where the...
Well, if it's steam cooker or steamer, I'll give it to you. But I know there's another way that my mum told me once what she was doing, and it sounded French. Any ideas, Steve?
I think it's called a it's something Marie.
Yes.
It's a French word.
That's okay.
What's a French word for bath?
It's come to me now. Bain Marie. You definitely said Marie, so I'll accept Marie or Bain Marie. And if you get steamer or steam cooker, I'll give it to Kundan. Let's take a look. What does that say? Let me just make that bigger. A chafing dish.
That's
Wow,
correct.
that sounds crazy. Never heard of that one. Still in control, Kundan Kumar. What would you like, and for what amount?
It's now the astronomy in space.
Yes.
$300 again.
$300. America's first weather satellite. Its name stood for Television and Infrared Observation Satellite. Also Spanish for uncles.
I don't know, Sputnik?
Well, I don't know if America would name their satellite Sputnik, but
it is a Russian one. Okay.
Steve, any idea?
What is TIO?
It was actually Tyros. Oh, they put the R in for red, infrared. It should be Teos. You are still in control, Kundan Kumar. What would you like?
I told you he's brilliant, this guy.
Oh, come on. It's just, I'm leaving all the $500 for you, Steve, okay? Let's stick to human body.
Human body,
Yeah.
300. Melatonin is secreted by this gland, named for its resemblance to a pine cone.
Melatonin, is it...
And New Age people think that you can open up this gland and it will give you the ability to see into the future. What are the
Pituitary
glands?
gland?
What was that?
Pituitary gland.
Pituitary. That's another one. What's the other one starting with a P? Lesser known. Sounds like pine cone. Pine. Time's up. Pineal gland.
Oh, pineal gland, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we got one of those. I
Pronounce it,
don't know
yeah.
where it is. I think it might be up here. Down here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kundan, what would you like?
Wow, I'm just waiting for Steve to jump in. Okay, inventions. Let's go ahead with that.
300. Murray Spangler invented the modern type of this device, and his relative William Hoover sold them. And if I spill something when I was a kid, my mum would say, "Let me get the Hoover." What are they?
Oh,
Jump in, Steve.
vacuum
Grass
cleaner.
cutter?
Vacuum cleaner is correct. Steve's on the board. 300 points. Steve.
What was that?
Vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay.
The first one was invented by Hoover, and a lot of people just call them Hoovers, just like Kleenex is actually tissues.
They used
Steve
to go
Gallegos.
door to door. They used to go door to door.
Oh, yeah, door to door
Let's-
they did selling those. Yeah, that was a tough job, I reckon.
in
These
second
days you
case-
get shot.
All right, let's do kitchen equipment for. I thought he had already done it for 100. I'll do it for 100.
Kitchen cooking equipment for 100.
Cooking.
Use these bristly implements to butter pastries or to keep meat moist on the grill.
What is a brush?
Brush is correct. Well done, Steve Gallegos,
Yes,
Esquire.
Steve. Go.
Same category. Let's do 200.
200 cooking equipment. Waffles are made in an iron and muffins are made in an implement named for this metal.
What is tin?
Cast iron. Okay.
Tin is correct. Steve's on a roll. Steve, what would you like?
Yay! Cooking equipment for 400.
Steve's a bit of a cook. When using this short axe-like butcher's knife, keep your other hand out of the way.
What is a cleaver?
Cleaver, good for chopping up a chicken, which I used to do. Steve, you're on fire. 1,000 points. What would you like?
Let's do this for 500. Kitchen equipment.
Cooking equipment for 500.
Cooking equipment.
The mandolin, representing a washboard, eases this process of cutting potatoes into match-like strips.
So what are we looking for?
So what are we looking for? The mandolin.
Mandolin resembling a washboard eases this process of cutting. The mandolin resembling.
So we call the process when you're making the little French fries. There's a process like you do something to the potato. That type of cutting the.
It's a potato slicer
Slicer.
that you use.
Let's take a look. It's probably another. Yeah, there's a julienne.
julienne,
Yes.
Well, it is a slicer. You slice them into julienne, but I get it.
Julienne, yeah. Another French word. Steve, you're in control. What would you like?
Let's go with words and phrases for 100.
Words and phrases. I can't even see it. German words and phrases for 100.
Oh, German words and
Yes.
phrases.
But they're ones
Okay.
that are commonly used in English. It's
Okay.
the German equivalent of a motor expressway.
What is the Autobahn?
The Autobahn. Kraftwerk had a song about that.
Yay!
You're on 1,100 points. Steve, well done. What would you like?
German words and phrases for 200.
German words and phrases 200 used to mean to your health. It's most often said after someone sneezes.
Oh, a Gesundheit.
Gesundheit is correct. Do they say that in India, Kundan?
No, nowhere close.
You didn't. You,
Close.
you just
Actually,
got the
moderate
straight
problem.
English, but not the German English, little mixed
Yeah.
in there. Understood.
Yeah.
You might have a little bit of English from British people. Steve,
Let's stick with German words and phrases for 300.
German words and phrases for 300. And in a 1963 address, John F. Kennedy took pride in uttering this 4-word phrase.
Word phrase.
So that's 2 million. I was thinking it was going to be ask not what your country can do for you. That's way too many words.
And that wouldn't have been German either.
Of course.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy say that was German? 4
Six.
words.
I'm sure I'll recognize
We're going to
when
know
it
it when we
comes-
see it. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Oh my goodness.
What does that mean?
It means I love Berlin.
I love it. Oh, he was just sucking up to the German Chancellor then, I think. Steve, what would you like?
I'll stick with German words and phrases for 400.
German words and phrases for 400. The name of this psychology movement is German for form or shape. I know this one. It also means the sum of the whole is greater than the parts, or however.
Its parts.
Yeah. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That is what this German word means, I believe. Particularly the psychology. Anyway, the name is Gestalt.
Gestalt.
I studied psychology, that's how I know that one. Alright, let's do one more question. We'll wrap it up. Steve, what would you like?
Let's go for inventions. Let's do 500. Let's do it.
500 inventions. It took Dr. Wilson Greatbatch 2 years to develop this heart regulator, first implemented in 1960.
Yeah, I'm not that old. I have no idea.
It was like a mechanical thing that went into your heart.
It's a heart.
Pacemaker.
Pacemaker, Kundan
Pacemaker.
Styles, got it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well done,
That's
Kundan.
okay.
Well, you've now got 600 points. We'll keep going for maybe a couple more. Kundan, what would you like?
Inventions
4. How much?
for 400.
400. After his sweetheart's ice cream melted as he rode it to her, Ole Evinrude invented this type of engine. You often see them on the back of a dinghy when you go fishing.
No idea. The
Common
grinding
in the
machine?
United States and Australia. I'm sure you have them in India as well. Steve?
Invented this type of engine.
Oh, so it's
Rotary
just the type
outboard?
of it. Outboard, yeah. It's the outboard engine that goes on the back. Evinrude is a common brand, is it not?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Steve, well done. We're going to wrap it up there. You're on 1,700. That's a round of applause. Kundan came in right towards the end there. Got a few points, so that's good. 600 for Kundan. Well done, everybody. Great game. Some hard
Congratulations,
questions.
Steve.
It's a bit hard if you're not familiar with the American questions, even for me. All right,
Yeah.
Kundan, you're on the left. Let's have a chat to you. And Kundan, I keep calling you Kundan. And what is it that you've been getting up to? You do a bit of coaching, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have a website called Unbinary Life. Who do you
Yeah.
work with and what do you do for them?
So, Unbinary Life is my own initiative. It's for philosophy. That's why I call myself also as Unbinary Kundan. So, I'm writing a book on all the human philosophy. So, the first one is with the publisher, and Binary Life is going to be the second one in the series.
And
Yeah.
so are you a bit of a fan of philosophy, Kundan?
Yes. Yeah.
I find that it makes my head explode, Kundan.
I'm sure. So it is fun. I love to understand human life, how the human mind works. So that has been my passion.
And what types of people do you help with your coaching? Are they business people or are they people that want to improve their life generally?
No, it's mostly the business people. I do believe that business is very much an integrated part of human life. One got to prove their worth in the society. So, and business is the best way to do it. So I work with business leaders, mostly in their decision making. Of course, improving life becomes a part of it.
And can you explain your 2% rule?
Oh, yeah. So the 2% rule is, again, something like when I start working with people, of course, aspirations are higher, whatever they want to achieve, but it has to start with something small. Usually, so I'm a very system and structure guy because I do believe that It's not people at fault. It's usually the system which has forced you to become something like that. So if I'm Indian, I carry some common traits from India. It's because of the culture, and the culture is outcome of the system and structure. Being an American or being an Australian, so that's where I bring all these things together and then focus on those tiny things, maybe making up your bed in the morning, going for a walk for 5,000 steps, making sure that you do one decision right in a day. This is the 2% changes which I evaluate on the Excel sheet, that every month, at least, if you improve by 2%, you're going to see a drastic change in 1.5 years.
Yes, awesome. It's a good time of the year to embark on something like this, being the new year. And you also talk about 5 pillars of life philosophy. What are those 5 pillars?
Oh, I love them. So when I was working on my own life, I've come through a lot of people who are pretty good at one. Let's say, for example, Mike Tyson. He is a champion. He's an icon, but he hardly has control over his emotions. So when I work with my people, as in these are the 5 pillars, it's your physical side, your emotional side, your financial, your professional, and relational. All these 5 pillars come together to make your life a very balanced and a helpful, as in, a fulfilling life. Otherwise, you might fall under misery if any one of the pillar remains neglected. So as a human, I think all these 5 pillars has to be looked upon. It could be your priority that I want to focus on health now or finances, but then the others should not be like off your list.
Interesting. And coming from India, India is probably home of the first ever self-help industry. I don't know if you can say that,
Yeah.
but the ancient Indian gurus have a lot of history with helping people in their lives. Do you incorporate any of that into your program?
I do. I think it comes under our DNA, and that's what I think it. But somewhere we lost track in between with all those historical things going in places, and we are more at a receiving end than at giving end. So I'm trying to bring back all of those, the good practices, and then the other thing I think our country lacked was documenting those things. I think the Western country has done a brilliant job in documenting whatever the research or the things have been moving. So yeah, I'm trying to bring some learnings from India. Spirituality become one of the prominent part, but unfortunately, not having a clarity of the spirituality is being taken for granted. Mostly people to be misguided about it. So those are the things I'm trying to bring from India, as well as I have spent quite a lot of time in Europe and America. So I'm trying to blend everything, whatever makes sense for humans. Nothing, no man-made concept of nationality, caste, color, religion, all those things. So trying to create a universal language.
And you've got something coming up in the United States, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that. Is it in San Francisco?
No, I was in Minneapolis. I was there for 4 years. Loved that place. So yeah, Minnesota was my base.
Okay, wonderful. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what are some of the things you've got coming up that they can get involved in, and you can help them?
So primarily, I work one-on-one as of now. With my book, I'm planning to do the events and stage sessions, but as of now, it's mostly one-on-one events or helping them out through my business, through my knowledge, whatever is there. I do a lot of pro bono activity also if somebody is really in need, till they are able to respect it. So I gauge it. I try to understand if the aspirations are only for glamour or really for impact. So I love to do impact work. So if anybody who are impacted, who are really oriented towards making an impact to the world, I'm sure, I make sure that I'm available to you, whatever means it is possible.
Wonderful. Well, if you want to get in touch with Kundan, his details are in the show notes. Thank you very much, Kundan Kumar.
Thank you so much, Julian.
Wonderful. All right, let's pop over to Steve. Now, Steve, you got a few interesting things. You're a former Marine. Well, you're always a Marine. And then did you become a lawyer? Is that what Esquire means? We've lost the audio. What's happened? Oh, no.
No, here we
Oh,
are.
here we go.
Sorry,
We're back. You must have
I
muted
muted
yourself.
myself.
You were being
Yes.
polite and then it backfired.
I was.
All right. So you were a Marine. What era were you a Marine?
During the tail end of the Vietnam War.
Wow. So did you go to Vietnam?
I was involved in the evacuation of Saigon as one of the backup forces. So I was on a ship off the shore, and we were receiving the evacuees, the refugees, as they were leaving, airlifted from the airport onto our ship and other ships that were
Well,
supporting.
that would have been good to be a part of, as opposed to some of the more gruesome parts of the war, and you got to help
Well,
people.
certainly, yes. I was only 17 years old at the time, so all of it was new to me, and I didn't know any different. And it was thrilling at the same time, and it was scared to death too. So I didn't know what to expect.
And you then, when did you study law?
After I left the Marine Corps, I became a law enforcement officer. I served as a police officer for several years, and it was during that process that I was working in the courts in Santa Barbara, California. The sheriffs um, administered the courts, and so I was assigned to one of courts as a bailiff. And through then, I met a judge that I became really good friends with, and he suggested I go to law school. And because I wanted to pursue a career as a singer and entertainer, I wanted to be the modern day Julio Iglesias. And so he said, you should go to law school, become an entertainment lawyer, because lawyers can open doors that you can never open as a one in a million singer songwriter.
Wow, so you went and did law with the goal of becoming an entertainer. I've never heard that before.
Yes, sir. I went into law so I could wear Armani suits.
Yeah, well, why not? And and tell us about what you're doing now. So you're coaching people. What types of people are you coaching?
Yeah, through my experience as an entertainer, singer, songwriter, recording artist, and trial lawyer, Marine, and police officer, I've learned that the skill of communication is the number one skill that everyone, and I say everyone, whether you're in business or not, is required, should learn in order to have success, whether it's in your personal relationships, your career as an entrepreneur, as a public servant. And so that's primarily what I teach is the idea that everything you say can and will be used against you from the bedroom to the boardroom.
Goodness me, that sounds very comprehensive. And what types of people do you mostly work with? Are they in the entertainment business or something
Um,
else?
Yes, some with the entertainment business, of mostly entrepreneurs, business owners, and business professionals, people that are public facing and that need to use their voice and their ability to communicate in order to generate sales, get clients, acquire money from investors, or to get out the vote, right? To run for office.
Excellent. And you do a bit of speaking. Is that the most common thing you do, or do you teach people one on one?
I do teach people one-on-one. I do have also a video training program that I offer. In fact, through COVID, before that I was doing live presentations, and then as a result of COVID, I was required to make a shift in my business, and we put everything online. And during COVID, because people were stuck at home, they didn't have money, we gave away nearly $500,000 worth of training to entrepreneurs and professionals who wanted to amp up their speaking skills, especially in the day of video, of Zoom and Video Ninja, to do presentations. And so we're excited to have been able to do that.
And you've got a lot of public speaking programs. Are they the main programs that you offer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Public speaking. And I'm currently finishing work on a book called Unshackled. It's designed for women who are ready to yell, cut, and become the writer and director of their own lives. And this book came about, Julian, because, having been in the entertainment industry, I've watched directors make films, and whenever the scene wasn't going right, they would stop and yell, cut, and then they would call everybody over, right, the actors and the writers and the script people, and say, this needs to change and you need to do this and blah blah blah. Well, I realized that we could do this in our own lives. And so I've taken that whole film creation director producer analogy, and translated it to how people can use it in their lives. And starting with women, showing them how they can stop at any point in their lives that's not going right, relationships, marriage, job, career, whatever it is, and they can yell cut, and they can rewrite, reproduce, and redirect their life.
Don't tell my wife that, Steve. She will be yelling cut any moment. Hopefully not. All right, well, that's wonderful. And when's your book coming out, Steve?
It'll be ready. Today's January, so it'll be mid-February to late February.
Wonderful. And if you want to check out Steve's speaking programs, because public speaking, well, for me, is quite terrifying, and it's such a valuable skill. And if you want to learn more about that and check out Steve's courses on his website, I've got all the details in the show notes. Thank you, Steve Gallegos, and also Kundan Kumar for coming on.
Thank you, Julian, for producing the show and introducing some wonderful people to your audience.
Wonderful.
Right.
Thank you very much, and thanks, Kundan, and thanks for listening, everyone. I'm going to wrap things up. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.